Well, ladies and gentlemen, this video is on cocky spirits, which is, I know it's sort of a topic that's been covered too much on YouTube, you know. But let's get into it really quick because we don't really have to get into it really quick. Not at all. But cocky spirits. You know, on Earth, we're egotistical, but the stuff that we're egotistical on Earth would be very different than the stuff we'd be egotistical about in the spirit world, right? Because on Earth, we're egotistical about like how much money we make, how much success we have, how big our house is, how many cars we have, you know, typical kind of stuff. And I think spirits are probably egotistical about the hard lives they've had on Earth. So instead of bragging about the good stuff, I bet you spirits brag about the bad stuff. Kind of like one condescending, cocky spirit goes to another and says, "Yeah, you've been to Earth?" And the other spirit's like, "Fuck yeah, I've been to Earth, I'm a badass." And then the other cocky spirit's like, "Yeah, really? You've been to Earth? Tell me about your Earth lives." And then, you know, tells him. And then the other cocky spirit's like, "Oh, yeah? Well, have you ever been homeless on Earth?" And the other spirit's like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, sure thing there, buddy." So it's kind of like that's how they brag. Like, what sort of torment have you gone through on Earth? Because if you've gone to Earth and you just had a nice regular life, you're kind of pathetic in the spirit world. See, here we're trying to get this nice life, and ironically in the spirit world, what we probably brag about is the times we were homeless, or the times we were a degenerate, the times you were, you know, the times you had it all, but then you became a drug addict and ended up homeless on the streets, and then, you know, crazy stories like that, right? Because if you're a spirit and you came to Earth, but you had kind of very safe, typical lives, not much of a bragging right, right? So that's the thing. I think that's the difference between what we brag about on Earth and what we brag about in the spirit world. That's what I've been thinking about lately. It's ironic. They're very different things that you brag about. Like no one would brag about being homeless and a drug addict on Earth. But as a spirit, that's pretty badass because you've had experiences. Because see, in the spirit world, I kind of see it as like suburbia. You know, when everyone always tries to make fun of that cliche kid who lives in the suburbs and everything's safe and he's never really experienced anything that traumatic. Well, that's like what the spirit world is like. It's like suburbia. And if you really want to be a badass and if you really want to challenge yourself, you come to Earth and you become a drug addict, homeless person. Now that's badass, right? So if there's any drug addict, homeless people out there, you're winning. You're literally winning the game. Because it's like, here's the thing. People pity you right now, but once we all die and ascend into the spirit world, you're going to be the cocky, smug spirit who's like, "Oh yeah, did you have a pretty typical, regular, safe life? Look at the shit that I did." Yeah. So you'll have all the bragging rights. So in a weird way, the more you fuck up your life, the less subscribers you have, the more bragging rights you have. Yeah. So when I die and I go into the spirit world, but "Oh yeah, you had a YouTube channel. Oh, you had millions of subscribers. Oh gee, what a hard life." I'll be like, "I did videos for 10 years straight and I had 0 subscribers. How's that for bragging rights, you sacks of shit?" That's it. Bye.